Tonight, the province and Bell partner up to build Canada's biggest AI data center. Why has a Saskatoon girl been waiting more than 2 years for surgery? A teenage girl gets 3 years for lighting a classmate on fire.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. It's one of the largest investments ever made in the province of Saskatchewan. Our parent company, Bell Canada, is teaming up with the government to build Canada's largest AI data center, a commitment worth about $1.7 billion. Donovan May says more on the center and what it could mean for the province.
The future of AI in Canada is coming to Saskatchewan.
The data centers and compute hardware that power AI are becoming critical infrastructure, much like the railways and telephone wires that first connected this great country.
Bell, the parent company of CTV News, making a $1.7 billion capital investment into the site, which will bring a 300-megawatt data center to the RM of Sherwood, southeast of Regina. It could generate up to $12 billion for the provincial economy, one of the largest investments ever in Saskatchewan.
We have here a province that is willing to make that the power available to generate that compute capacity at scale.
If you're a mining company, you're part of the tech sector, and today our mining companies are using AI technology to ensure that they are the most efficient mining companies in the nation. The same holds true for agriculture, oil production.
In partnership with George Gordon First Nation, Bell says it will explore Indigenous procurement, participation, and workforce development.
We've been interested in AI for a while. Since I've been the chief, I've been looking at AI, thinking about AI, and thinking how can we get involved in AI? Because to me, I believe it's going to be key to education, and it's going to be key to streamlining a lot of processes.
Now, the data center has been the source of recent controversy, with multiple petitions to halt its construction, claiming issues related to power capacity, environmental concerns, ecological impacts, and the ethics of AI.
We are not drawing on municipal water sources, and in terms of waste heat, we'd be looking to plug into a district energy system. So it's part of a parcel of being very mindful of working with government.
Now, Bell is aiming to begin construction of the data center in the spring and expects the build to support over 800 trades and engineering jobs, with a minimum of 80 full-time jobs once it is operational next year. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Well, it was another day of accusations at the Saskatchewan legislature. This time, the Saskatchewan NDP is being accused of inciting hatred toward Premier Scott Moe and some members of his cabinet. As Wayne Mantica tells us, the allegations stem from an email sent to NDP supporters.
When you're ready.
It was an email intended to fire up NDP supporters for the 2028 provincial election campaign. It accuses the Saskatchewan Party of oozing arrogance and smugness and asks supporters to take a moment to think of the faces of all the ones they hate so much. It goes on to name the Premier, Tim McLeod, Jeremy Harrison, and Jeremy Cockrell. The Premier stood in the legislature to take exception to the email.
The ones you hate so much, Mr. Speaker. That's the opposition leader's chief of staff in a fundraising email telling the people in Saskatchewan communities. Think of that young father's face. Think of this husband and young father's face, Mr. Speaker. Think of this father's face and hate them. Mr. Speaker, this is sick.
The email was from the newly appointed NDP campaign director. The opposition leader addressed the concerns.
I'll also say that the emotion that I'm hearing out there from people, the frustration, is very real. Whether you use the word hate, it's you hear a lot of concern, a lot of frustration, a lot of fear from people out there right now who really are struggling.
The Premier called on the NDP leader to dismiss the person responsible for the fundraising letter. Carla Beck says she won't take advice from the Premier and stands by her choice of campaign director. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
The provincial government is facing criticism for a planned increase in the basic auto insurance deductible. The deductible is currently $700, but will increase to $950 on January of next year. The government says the change will offset inflation and rising vehicle repair costs, while the NDP says it's another in a growing list of fee increases.
The fact of the matter is that today our province of Saskatchewan is the most affordable province in the nation of Canada to live, Mr. Speaker. We are seeing investment come into this province, creating careers, Mr. Speaker.
SGI is also introducing a $15 administration fee on driver license renewals and a $5 for vehicle registrations. More on vehicle registrations. There we go. All right, Saskatoon mother is raising her concerns over health care in the province as her daughter, struggling to breathe, has been waiting almost 2 years to see a surgeon. As Carla Shinkaruk tells us, the strain is taking its toll on the family as they wait for answers.
To have no answers at all.
2 years ago, Cassie Reed's daughter started having trouble breathing with fluid dripping into her lungs.
She coughs till she pukes, and she cries in her sleep. It sometimes scares me on how hard she coughs sometimes because it sounds like she has completely lost the ability to breathe.
She says she's had to take time off her job at times as they wait for care, and constant coughing is oftentimes forcing the 9-year-old to miss out.
We're either not going to school, or I have to call ahead of time to the school and say, there's no outside, there's no gym, she can't today.
Reed says the family saw a specialist in October of 2024, but months later learned the doctor had left indefinitely. Since then, they've been waiting for another appointment with a surgeon with no timeline for when the procedures might happen. Opposition health critic Keith Jorgensen says stories like this highlight ongoing problems in Saskatchewan's healthcare system.
We hear stories all the time about people waiting very, very long periods of time for surgery, or in this case, just to see a specialist.
CTV News reached out to the Ministry of Health and did not get a response by deadline.
The best way I can describe it is...
But for Reed and her daughter, the wait continues, and they're hopeful for the best case scenario and good news.
There's a surgery booked, and it's relatively soon.
Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The provincial government is naming a Saskatoon lawyer as its new firearms commissioner. Blaine Bevan will step into the role after serving as senior legal counsel in the Saskatchewan Firearms Office since 2022. The transition will follow the retirement of current Commissioner Robert Freeberg later this month. Freeberg will also stay on as a part-time policy advisor for the next year. A Saskatoon student who poured a bottle of gasoline over a classmate's head and lit her on fire has been sentenced to the maximum amount of time allowed for a youth. CTV's Laura Woodward was in court and has more on how much time she'll serve and reaction from the victim's family.
A Saskatoon teen who doused her classmate in gasoline and set her on fire has been handed the maximum youth sentence for attempted murder. 3 years, 2 years in custody, followed by 1 year of community supervision. The teen has already spent more than 500 days in custody, but unlike most cases, that time will not be credited toward her sentence.
Yes, we are glad the courts are now concluded, and we're disappointed with the short duration of the sentence.
The victim, the accused, and their families cannot be identified under a youth publication ban. Ahead of the attack at Evan Hardy Collegiate, court heard the offender became obsessed with the victim and her best friend, contacting them using multiple phone numbers and social media accounts.
We did everything we thought we could to prevent this tragedy.
The victim's family and parents of her best friend say they reported the situation to police and were told a school safety plan would be implemented.
This case shows what happens when students' concerns aren't taken seriously. We shouldn't have to fight this hard just to be heard and to feel safe in our own school.
The Crown initially wanted an adult sentence, but dropped that request following a Supreme Court ruling that clarifies when one can be pursued. The court says the severity of the crime alone is not enough. Prosecutors must also prove the youth has an adult-like level of maturity.
With the particular circumstances of the offender, it was not a pathway that we could pursue any longer.
Court heard the offender has been diagnosed with autism, anxiety, pyromania, and schizophrenia spectrum disorder. The youth sentence has a focus on treatment and rehabilitation, addressing the factors behind the crime to prevent future offending. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Closing arguments were made today in a Regina courtroom for the double murder trial of Dylan Whitehawk. Mick Fable gives us the details before the judge hands the decision over to a 12-person jury.
The jury overseeing the double murder trial of Dylan Whitehawk received one last overview of presented evidence as the Crown and defense delivered their closing arguments here at Court of King's Bench. Whitehawk is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the 2019 deaths of Jordan Denton and Keenan Toto. The Crown prosecutor spoke to the jury, saying the story has been incredibly consistent all along. 6 witnesses who cannot be named due to a publication ban placed Whitehawk at the scene of the crimes and say he fired both shots, which killed Denton and Toto in separate drive-by shootings. One witness said in both incidents, a vehicle full of Indian Mafia gang members were out looking for trouble, while another witness claimed to having heard Whitehawk say he was out looking to kill. Adding, recollections may have changed slightly over the years, but not the big details between the witnesses. The defense responded by saying the key witnesses cannot be taken on their word alone. Their testimonies are significant pieces of the trial, but due to their backgrounds, the defense suggests more evidence is needed for the jury. The defense concluded by saying the actual shooters could have been others who were in the vehicles with Whitehawk at the time of the crimes. Over the past 2 weeks, court have heard from over 25 witnesses, as well as a number of investigators who helped piece together what happened. The judge will be giving final instructions to the jury on Tuesday before they begin deliberating. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
Charges have been laid following a homicide last week that took the life of a North Battleford cab driver. On Friday, RCMP responded to a report that a man was injured in a business parking lot off the Highway 16 bypass in North Battleford. He was pronounced dead on scene by first responders. Police identified the victim as 30-year-old Davinder Singh, a cab driver. 19-year-old Kojak Adams is facing 1 count of first-degree murder, and 19-year-old Garin Baptiste has been charged with manslaughter. Adams is charged with 2 additional firearm-related offenses. Both of the accused made their first court appearances in North Battleford on Monday, where they have been remanded in custody until March the 30th. A Balgony man is facing serious child exploitation charges after a police investigation. The Saskatchewan Internet Child Exploitation Unit charged 53-year-old Kevin James Leibel with possessing and making child sexual abuse material. Leibel was remanded and is set to appear in Regina Provincial Court on March the 18th. All right, Sabine joins us now for our first look at weather. And there was a chill in the air today, but good news. Tomorrow,
you might wake up with some snow on the ground.
Exciting.
And warmer temperatures. There you go. Depending on where you are in the province, yeah, there is snow in the forecast for tonight and the overnight, and a little bit for first thing in the morning. I'll talk more about that coming up in your forecast. But today, Lee is right. We did wake up with some cooler temperatures and didn't quite get into our daytime average that we're normally sitting at around 0 for this time of year. Got to -6. I mean, if it makes us feel better, last year we were around this same temperature for this time of day. Nowhere near that record 16, 17 degrees. However, there is a slight chance we could see that temperature later this week. In terms of active weather, not a whole lot to show you on the radar satellite. There are some freezing rain warnings issued already coming from Alberta as well. I'll talk more about where we can expect to see the snow, how much, and how long it's sticking around for in your full forecast. Lee?
All right, thanks, Sabine. Well, it was a sight to behold today. A herd of buffalo returning to the Cowessess First Nation for the first time in more than a century. Jacob Carr has more on a significant day for the First Nation.
Dozens of members of Cowessess First Nation gathering for the return of buffalo to the Cowessess Plains. Before the big moment, community members singing an honor song to signify the buffalo touching the ground and the land of Cowessess.
We have our honor songs, we have our victory songs, we have our songs for dance, and that drum beat is the heartbeat of us and the heartbeat of that buffalo. They're the same. The buffalo from Peepekassis were herded into a truck and transported to Cowessess before being released into their new habitat. According to a member of Cowessess, the buffalo release was the product of over 3 years of work and partnership between the two First Nations.
This will be a sacred area for the buffalo and for food sustainability to our people. Well, this herd will build significantly enough that we will be able to provide food for our people in years to come.
In a pay-it-forward gesture. Once the herd grows in size, Cowessess will be sharing their buffalo with a yet-to-be-determined First Nations community that is part of the Buffalo Treaty Alliance. The chief of Cowessess says the impact of having buffalo back on their First Nation is already being felt.
Even though it's only been a few hours, it's already made that significant impact. It's one of hope, it's one of love, it's one of respect, it's one of kindness, and all of those teachings that we grow up with as First Nations people.
Bowden says there are 20 buffalo in the herd and that the day was about renewal, resurgence, and recapturing and remembering what is running through the people of Cowessess's bloodlines. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
A grade 4 student is planning to treat her family to a Disney vacation on her own dime after winning a fishing contest. Jasmine Peltier has the heartwarming story.
Earlier this month, 9-year-old Sophia Poitras claimed the first place prize at the 10th annual Murray Lake Ice Fishing Derby. Her dad, Rick Poitras, says that when they first brought up the winning fish, he knew the catch was special.
I seen that fish and said, holy moly. That's I know what it is. It's tough in Jack and Murray Lake to catch a good sized Jack, and when that fish came up, it was this one's gonna definitely score well.
Sophia had reeled in a 4.8-pound pike from under the ice of Murray Lake, about 40 minutes north of North Battleford. The grade 4 student says she was surprised to make that big of a catch and felt excited and happy when she found out that she'd secured the top prize, $30,000.
From the blow of the horn to the minute they stopped fishing, Sophia never ever quit. She kept jigging. She was into it. She never let up, never complained, nothing. 5 hours.
When asked what she likes about fishing, Sophia had one answer.
Catching big fish.
She wants to use the prize money to treat her family to a Disney World vacation. The Fishing Derby is held annually as a fundraiser to support sports and recreation for both Moosomin and Saulteaux First Nation.
Parents struggle to pay those fees, so for my community, we pay those fees: soccer fees, hockey fees, ball fees.
This year's Derby had the biggest turnout yet, drawing more than 750 people to take part in the fishing. Jasmine Peltier, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Still ahead, a one-on-one with Bell's CEO and president regarding the data center announcement. And U.S. President Donald Trump calls on allies to help secure the Strait of Hormuz.
Tomorrow, a W5 exclusive investigation.
It knocks the breath out of you.
Their teenage daughter faces life in prison.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
We reveal the shocking number of young Canadians behind bars in Hong Kong and expose the Canadian recruiters who lured them there.
They're preying on people's innocence and trust.
W5 investigates tomorrow on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
I am joined by Mirko Bibic, who is the president and CEO of BCE, Bell Canada. Bell, as many people might know it here in Saskatchewan. Thank you for joining us today. Thanks for making time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for making the time.
Huge announcement regarding the AI data center coming to Saskatchewan. Maybe let's talk a little bit about artificial intelligence in general. We're seeing it in society, in every industry right now across the world. How important is it for Bell to get to the forefront of AI, as well as maybe even Canada to get to the forefront of AI?
Right. So AI is definitely going to be the motor of economic growth and productivity going forward. So as a country, we need to and ought to want to play in it and be at the epicenter of it. Of course, we've got amazing AI researchers, and what we're talking here today with the announcement is industrializing AI at scale so that we drive economic growth. So very important for us. We have a role to play here. It's part of our core capabilities, and we are so proud to be making our largest investment ever in the province of Saskatchewan. We'll be investing directly, BCE, $1.7 billion over the next 18 months.
You talked about the province of Saskatchewan's government, but you're partnering with a lot of different entities as well
now with this program, universities, post-secondary institutions, as well as other communities as well to make this work.
Correct. So we're partnering with SaskTel. SaskTel is going to be bringing the fiber that we need to interconnect the site. We'll be working with Sask Power and Transgas. We're also going to be working collaboratively, going to market and encouraging customers to use AI in our site with SaskTel. And we're also super proud to partner with the Polytechnic and the University of Regina. We're going to be providing some AI credits so that they can conduct research through the facility, and super proud to be partnering with the George Gordon First Nation on procurement and workforce and we've got other plans in the works with them.
How do you address maybe some of the concerns about any environmental factors? I know that's something that you've looked at going into this process.
So there have been a couple of concerns that we've been mindful of, that we've heard, particularly around drawing water. This facility will not draw upon local water at all. It's a closed loop cooling system, so in other words, no water is drawn at all. And in terms of data centers like this, always kind of there's kind of waste heat that's created, and we're going to be looking at redirecting the waste heat and into a district energy system, so we can actually reuse that waste heat for good effect.
Thank you very much for doing this interview, and we'll look forward to see when 2027 comes around.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.
The Strait of Hormuz has become the focal point of the escalating war in the Middle East. U.S. President Donald Trump urging other nations to step in and help secure the safe passage of oil tankers. Heather Wright has the latest on the conflict.
Smoke billows from an industrial site near the Dubai International Airport, the result of a drone attack earlier today. It's the latest example of Iran's use of asymmetrical warfare, which includes inexpensive drone attacks like this one and leveraging pinch points like the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. is asking its allies to help open the Strait of Hormuz, Iran's foreign minister said today. From our perspective, it's only closed to our enemies and their allies. With oil prices skyrocketing, U.S. President Donald Trump is under pressure to get tanker ships moving. He has called on NATO allies and countries like China to provide military support in order to reopen the strait. It's not our war, we didn't start it, is how Germany's foreign minister responded to the request, the most pointed refusal. Japan, Italy, Australia, and Canada have also said they will not participate.
Canada's not involved in the prosecution of this war, and Canada has no intention of being involved in the prosecution of this war.
I find the request kind of misplaced.
University of Istanbul professor Kıvanç Ulusoy says he's not surprised many countries are turning down requests to help, as the United States never consulted them in the decision to go to war.
The Trump administration did not do almost anything to let's say, to legitimize it, to justify it.
This war is now in its third week, with the death toll in Iran now more than 1,300, according to its health ministry. The death toll in Lebanon also continues to rise as Israel moves more troops into the south in its fight with Hezbollah, which reignited following the killing of Iran's supreme leader. Nearly 900 people have been killed and 2,000 injured in Lebanon since this latest conflict began, with nearly 1 million people displaced.
At this point, there are no peace talks planned between Hezbollah and Israel. And an Iranian official said today they have not requested a ceasefire with the United States and are prepared for what could be a lengthy conflict. Heather Wright, CTV News, Istanbul.
Cuba is facing an island-wide blackout as the country's energy and economic crisis deepens. In a post on social media, Cuba's Ministry of Energy and Mines says a complete disconnection of the country's electrical system has happened. This comes as Cuba's president warns that the island has not received oil shipments in more than 3 months and was operating on solar power, natural gas, and thermoelectric plants. A massive outage over a week ago impacted the island's west end, leaving millions without power. The stars were shining bright last night as Hollywood handed out its most coveted hardware at the Oscars, and some Canadians took the spotlight, including filmmaker Maggie Kang.
And the Oscar goes to K-pop Demon Hunter.
And for those of you who look like me, I'm so sorry that it took us so long to see us in a movie like this. This is for Korea and for Koreans everywhere.
Presented by fellow Canadian Will Arnett, Kang won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. She co-directed the musical Fantasy, which is the most viewed movie in Netflix history.
The Oscar goes to One Battle After Another.
As for some of the marquee awards, it was a big night for One Battle After Another, which was named Best Picture. The film won 6 Oscars, including Best Director for Paul Thomas Anderson. Not Best Actor, though, or Best Actress. It seems they weren't able to get all of them, but they did pretty well. Coming up, we introduce you to a young lady who was named this year's ambassador for the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital.
Tuesday, we celebrate the luck of the Irish. It's St. Patrick's Day, and no celebration would be complete without Irish dancing. You've got to see these talented kids. We'll see you first thing in the morning.
All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at your forecast heading into, well, the rest of this week. And the good news is that spring is expected to arrive on Friday. And it's going to start feeling like that much sooner than Friday. Currently, though, not feeling like spring. -7, winds currently just over 30, but they're gusting close to 50 kilometers an hour right now. So we're seeing those strong wind gusts arrive, and they're expected to stick around heading into tomorrow. And this -7 is actually feeling closer to about -16 with that wind chill. Now, mentioned earlier, we're seeing some of these freezing rain warnings come in from Alberta. Alberta has seen quite a bit of precipitation coming through for today. Again, it's been mostly a mix of snow and freezing rain. Yes, we have the freezing rain warnings. Now, these are in place right now with the precipitation expected to arrive tonight into tomorrow afternoon. But actually, when we take a look at what's to come, it's more like snow, but with those strong wind gusts as well, expect the travel on the roads to be not so great. I actually was checking highway pages on Facebook, and they were saying that, again, with the wind, we've seen some slick roads out there today as well. So keeping that in mind, make sure you're checking the highway hotline. Now, you'll see that a lot of that snow starts to clear out of the province by tomorrow morning. Still expecting some areas in eastern Saskatchewan to see the snow when you're waking up, or I guess snow still falling. There will be snow on the ground. And then as that clears out, Tuesday night, expect more precipitation to arrive. This looks more so central, northern Saskatchewan. Again, mixed precipitation could come through the Parkland area, around the Yorkton area. Could see some rain by Wednesday as well. And then by the afternoon, expecting more of that precipitation coming through. Most of this precipitation is expected to arrive overnight into the early mornings, except for that little pocket of rain Wednesday afternoon, more in the central parts of the province. This is what we're expecting for snowfall. So similar to what that map was showing us, mostly central northern Saskatchewan seeing the heavier snowfall, but you can see parts of southern Saskatchewan expecting to see it. Saskatoon up to 1 centimeter by tomorrow morning, up to 10 centimeters for Yorkton, 3 for Weyburn and Regina, 4 centimeters expected for Estevan. And again, as we saw on that map, we'll see more precipitation continuing throughout the next few days. So we'll see another centimeter or 2 for other parts of the province. But the southern half of Saskatchewan, we're going to be more so focused on the above seasonal temperatures, and you'll see that coming up in your 7-day forecast. And that does start tomorrow for some areas. Lloydminster +6 tomorrow, 4 degrees for Prince Albert. Still cooler in La Loche and La Ronge with the temperatures just below 0, but temperatures continue to get warmer the closer we get to southern border. North Battleford 8 degrees, 6 for Saskatoon, 2, and snow for Yorkton. The southwest 17 degrees for Maple Creek, 11 for Swift Current, 13 for Moose Jaw, and mainly sunny in the southeast. 11 degrees for Weyburn and Assiniboia, 9 for Estevan. For Regina tonight, -9, warmer than the average. And winds picking up, though, gusting up to 60 tonight and up to 55 tomorrow. But tomorrow we're expecting a daytime high of 9 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. And here's your next 7 days. I wish we had sound for the little leprechaun. Tomorrow, 9 degrees for St. Patrick's Day. Perfect day to be outdoors. A mix of sun and cloud. 12 degrees expected Wednesday with a mix of sun and cloud. By Thursday, mainly sunny, 15 degrees. And then spring equinox. Spring officially arrives in Saskatchewan at 8:46 a.m. on Friday. 13 degrees is the expected daytime high. And then by the weekend, we will see those temperatures dip a little, but we're still above zero and above seasonal. 8 on Saturday. Winds, though, picking up to 65. 4 on Sunday, and by Monday, 5 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. As of right now, I did look a little further down into the long range. It does not look like we have any below zero temperatures anytime soon after today, Lee.
Interesting. But St. Paddy's Day, not too bad of temperatures there. And you're going to be on location, too. You're not going to be here in the studio.
That's right. I'm going to be out in the search of the pot of gold.
Could be anywhere. Look for the rainbow, Sabine. Look for the rainbow. Thank you, Sabine. A 5-year-old girl from Regina has been chosen to represent sick and injured kids across the province. Damien Smith introduces us to Ivy, the newest ambassador of the Children's Hospital.
Play family.
5-year-old Ivy is like any kindergartner, spending time with her sister, playing family.
Yeah, I'll keep it in my room. There you go. Yeah.
Outside of the home, she's found challenging herself in the gym.
Everything in gymnastics I love, but just the balance beams. My favorite is doing the monkey on the bars.
That's where she discovered something that changed her life at only 4 years old.
And I'd gotten a call from her dad saying she was in quite a bit of pain, not able to move very much, was just in her bed. And I kind of just attributed it to growing pains, because at 4 years old, most kids don't go through a lot of pain.
After several months and many tests, Ivy was diagnosed with juvenile dermatomyositis, an autoimmune disease that causes inflammation of the skin, muscles, and blood vessels.
I've heard of a lot of diseases being a nurse, but this is one I'd never heard of.
The condition affects about 2 to 4 children per million worldwide every year.
She completely lost her mobility, so the only thing she could move at the time was kind of her eyes. Back and forth, every muscle in her body was quite inflamed, including her throat muscles to swallow.
After spending a month at Jim Pattison Children's Hospital, Ivy is back at home and currently in kindergarten. She no longer needs a feeding tube, but is required to have monthly follow-up appointments.
Feeling this much better.
This much better.
Yeah, that much.
A few weeks ago, Ivy was named the Saskatchewan Ambassador for the Children's Miracle Network of Canada, a role she's excited to take on to help others who find themselves in similar situations. Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
The playoffs are set in the SJHL with all 4 teams from the Buggy Division making it. Look at the matchups next. WHL, the Moose Jaw Warriors playoff hopes still alive.
Carter, left circle, wrist shot, save made, bouncing rebound, Paquette finds it, tries the wraparound, scores!
Warriors picked up a crucial 5-2 win over the Regina Pats on Sunday. Warriors are 1 point back of the Red Deer Rebels for the 8th and final playoff spot. They have 2 games to go, both against Swift Current, who are in dead last. Red Deer, they've got Lethbridge once and the Tigers twice. As for the Pats, they need just a single point in one of their final 3 games or Warriors' loss to clinch their playoff spot. SJHL playoffs are set, and the first round features a rematch of the Highway 10 rivalry.
Back, taking the shot, Padma with safe rebound is loose at the side, they score!
Second-seeded Yorkton Terriers take on the 7-seed Melville Millionaires for the second straight first round in the postseason. Last year, Yorkton won that playoff series in 5 games. They also won a season series this year, 6 games to 2. That best-of-7 series expected to kick off on Friday.
Dallas Pierce to the point for Ryland Pierce. He'll shoot, look at redirect, they score!
Weyburn Red Wings will face the Nipawin Hawks. Nipawin will have home ice advantage, but Weyburn actually won the season series 3 games to 1. Wings hoping to use their experience after going all the way to the final last season, losing to Melfort.
That's Andrews for the Bruins. He fires it down. Knudsen overskates him. Opportunity there. Right up in front. The SFL Bruins score.
As for the Estevan Bruins, they'll get the tough task of facing the top seed in the Flin Flon Bombers. Now, an 8th seed has beaten the top seed before. Rather recently, Yorkton did it back to Nipawin back in 2019. But the Bruins are going to have to find a way to get at least one win in Flin Flon. The Bombers lost only once all season at the Whitney Forum. The other series has Melfort playing the Battlefords. Still ahead, Regina police need your help to catch 2 attempted break-in bandits.
Welcome back. So tomorrow we will see some snow, possibly still in parts of the province, like Hudson Bay, expecting snow, and temperatures below 0 at -3. But many areas will see warmer than seasonal temperatures, like areas like Outlook and Kindersley. Kindersley 13 degrees, Outlook 12, a mix of sun and clouds 6 degrees for Meadow Lake, Lloydminster, Spiritwood, Watrous, 3 for Wynyard, and 0 and cloudy for Melfort. Closer to the southern border, temperatures warm up even more. 17 expected for Maple Creek, 14 for Leader, East End Cypress, Rockglen, 15 for Coronach, 13 for Rosetown, 11 for... It's going to be a nice day tomorrow, except for areas like Kenora. 0, still a little cool. Snow there. 7 and snow for Carlisle. 9 degrees for Lumsden and Pilot Butte, mix of sun and cloud. Taking a closer look at Norquay, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel. Located around 100 kilometers northeast of Yorkton tomorrow, so expecting snow. 5 to 10 centimeters of snow tomorrow. -2 is the expected daytime high, a wind chill of -5. So not so much a spring day, but it's on its way.
The incident happened on February the 26th, 2026 at around 3 o'clock in the morning. A man and a woman attempted to break into an apartment complex on the 1700 block of Hamilton Street. They appear to make several attempts to bypass a keypad entry, but then later the man is seen trying to use a crowbar to pry open the metal door. The first suspect is described as a man wearing a black, shiny, puffy winter coat, a black hoodie, black pants with white stripes down the leg, and white and black runners. Suspect number 2 is described as a woman, appears to have reddish-brown shoulder-length hair. She was wearing a brown hoodie underneath a black jacket, black or gray pants, and black shoes.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Did you know that Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina? Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
In recognition of Saskatchewan's Francophone community, the provincial government is celebrating Les Rendezvous de la Francophonie through the month of March. Now, today, students and Francophone organizations celebrated the proclamation at the Saskatchewan Gallery. Saskatchewan's ministry responsible for Francophone affairs says this year's theme is Activate Your Francophonie, encouraging people to engage and celebrate French-speaking people across the province.
It's really about continuing our effort to support the community through translation of government documents. We've increased significantly the number of French pages offered in French. There's a growing number of offices across government where French language services are available.
The government will be holding activities until March 20th, leading into the International Day of La Francophonie. Despite being off school, Moose Jaw students made their way to the Town and Country Mall on the weekend to test their entrepreneurial skills. 32 groups showed off some of their ideas. Organizer Gail Hoffos has run trade shows before in the community, but decided to take a bit of a different approach this time around. 3 contestants earned cash rewards, with the first place winning $100, a second winning $50, and a third winning $25.
There's definitely been some that I thought, oh, they might not do so well because they're like hiding, and now they're like talking because the other kids are helping them beside them. It's great interaction for them.
And when she came up to me and just started talking to me, I was like, normal business, just, yeah, everything, talking to her. And then she said, well, I've chosen you for second place. And I was like, what?
That's how I react when somebody says I did something good. Hofos throughout the event thought there'd be 10, maybe 15 groups, but was pleasantly surprised when more than double, 32 groups registered for the event. Farm markets, canola street price down $22.40. It has taken a drop the last couple days to $631.63 per ton. Same with the futures price. It's dropped more than $36 to $702.60 per ton. Amber Durum wheat, it is the same, $278.59 per ton. Red Spring wheats dropped $1.71 to $274.61 per ton. Feed barley, no movement, $232.01, while flax is $670.54 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge. As for the markets, both on the way up. The TSX up 334 points. The Dow Jones up 387 points. Did the Canadian dollar jump up? It sure did. Went up a little less than 0.3% to 73.10 cents U.S. Commodity front. Gold down $13.08. West Texas Intermediate crude went down $5.34. Western Canadian Select crude went up another $2.23. It's sitting at $82.19 a barrel. So take a look at gas in Regina. Right now it's sitting at what we saw a little earlier on the weekend, $1.62.9 per liter.
Inflation for February came in at 1.8%. Part of the reason for that is the tax holiday that started at the end of 2024 carried through to mid-February of 2025. But experts say this could be the calm before the storm. The recent spike in energy prices will work its way into the inflation number for March. Reuters is reporting Meta will lay off 20% or more of its workforce. The owner of Facebook and Instagram wants to offset the massive amount it's spending on AI. It plans to spend about $135 billion U.S. just this year. Meta calls the report speculative. Encyclopedia Britannica suing OpenAI, accusing the company of using its online articles to empower ChatGPT. That, Britannica says, cannibalized their own web traffic. OpenAI says it used publicly available data to drive ChatGPT, calling it fair use. The encyclopedia company didn't say how much it wants in monetary damages. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Coming up tonight on CTV, Extracted at 7 o'clock, followed by History of a Killer. Then the
Memory of a Killer. Sorry, friend, didn't want to.
Did I say History of a Killer?
You sure did.
That sounds like a really good show. We should go with that one. Rookie at 9, Big Bang Theory at 10, and E-Talk at 10:30.
I'd watch History of a Killer.
History of a Killer?
Yeah,
that'd
be
go through everything about the killer?
Okay.
It basically would be a documentary. Congratulations, CTV. You just came up with a hit. A Saskatoon musician is among a group of international performers featured in an annual St. Patrick's Day video.
So that's Eileen Laverty on the riverbank with the Besborough Hotel in the background. Laverty, who is originally from Ireland but has called Saskatoon home for years, joins musicians from across the globe to sing High Hopes. The video is being promoted by the Government of Ireland, which describes it as celebrating hope, connection, and the global reach of Ireland. It says, at a time of global turmoil and great challenge, we look for signs of hope in the everyday, and is wishing everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day.
Not going to lie to you, I thought she would have been on there longer than 3 seconds, but it is what it is.
All right, well, it's an annual sign that spring is almost here. Almost. Regina's soft serve scene is getting ready to start a new season with one option already up and running.
Yeah, Dessert Sweets launched their soft serve menu last week. Milky Way kicks off a season marking 70 years since its first opened on Thursday. Elle's Cafe will open its soft serve window 2 days later on March the 21st. Other ice cream stands around the city are typically open by late March anyway, but have not set opening dates just yet. I think Sabine's just going to be outside our station throwing ice cream at people.
No,
on April 1st.
I'll be eating the ice cream. I mean, even if it's a little cooler, that Cole and I had this conversation, that it still stays frozen and doesn't melt all over, which is, I know, not that big of a problem, but can be a problem.
Oh. So you speak to Cole as well.
I can't win around here.